Yo, what happened, Brody? They sleep. I wake them up. I bet.
Straight from the bricks, I need a lick. I drink the bottle since I was a kid. Unlit, how can I miss? Came from the bottom and got me a check. I'm a threat, I got a flex. You want the crime, but don't know what it takes. I am built different, I'm not what you think. I cannot lose, I go out with a bang. I hope you never say my name in vain. I'm with whatever, just not play no games. I know they say I change, I cannot say the same. I bet they want me shackled, they're locked in a chain. Like that's just what happens with bad news. On my mama, I never been fragile. I'm the one with the fuck with this taboo. Turn you the R&B tattoo. Still a young and feel like a OG. Can't forget all the.
Okay, so here we have the new and improved version of Transformers Age of Extinction Drift in his Bugatti Veyron Grand Sports Car Vitesse vehicle mode. And he's clocking in at a build time of 12 hours, which, believe it or not, was all done in one day.
NANI?
Which does sound a little crazy, okay, not even gonna lie, but let me explain you something here, Bobby. Over here, sometimes we have to get a little crazy for the video. You know what I'm saying? See, sometimes. Okay, now let's get back on track here. One of the questions you might be asking is, what was wrong with the previous version of Drift that you had to do a complete revamp and drop a version 3? And the answer to that question is, this just doesn't look like Drift. Like, I really liked it at first, but then after a couple of months passed, I started looking at it more and more, and I was like, you know what? This doesn't really look like a Bugatti Veyron. It looks more like a busted Mustang or something. Okay, so number one, I didn't have any of those teal blue pieces that I have on the new version, so the previous version's color scheme was off since it was only dark blue and black. Number two, the front portion of the car where the hood is was a bit too elongated, giving it more of that Mustang look. And number three, the front bumper of the car was poorly detailed and really sloppy looking. So it just overall wasn't giving Bugatti Veyron. So it wasn't given is what you saying? Nah, it wasn't given, bro. Okay, so what you really saying is the Legos weren't Legoing. Nah, they wasn't doing that either. So in order to fix the first problem, which was the color scheme, I had to think outside the box a little bit because teal blue does exist in Lego form, but I needed something that popped more. So I wanted that chrome teal blue that you see on this guy. But the thing is, pieces in this color are extremely hard to find, and then even when you do find them, they're really expensive due to the rarity of them. So I searched the depths of AliExpress and found a Gypsy Danger Pacific Rim set that had all of the chrome teal blue pieces that I needed. Unfortunately though, since it was, I guess, a custom designed set, some of the pieces were fake, but it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. So luckily for me, I only needed the chrome pieces for the exterior of the build, so it didn't mess me up too much. But for those of you that are familiar with these wedge pieces here, you'll notice that these aren't real Lego pieces. Like, the Lego company doesn't actually produce wedge pieces that don't have studs on them. So those are just a result of me buying a custom designed Lego set. But okay, problem fixed. Now for the next problem, which was fixing that elongated portion of the front of the car, which, believe it or not, had absolutely nothing to do with Drift's vehicle mode and everything to do with me trying to fix his chest design in his robot mode. But because I didn't know what I was doing, I ended up taking an extra ½ inch of space getting the previous chest to do the exact same thing that this newly designed chest that you see on screen here is now doing. See, but it's okay now because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, boy.
And as for the last problem, which was just the overall lack of cleanliness within the front portion of the car, once I got the interior mechanisms to work correctly without taking up as much room as they did before, I pretty much just had to redesign the entire exterior of it. So for one, I took full advantage of all of my curved slope pieces and emphasized the edges of the front of the car on each side. I then carved out the interior here so it appears that we have a gradual slope going down to kind of simulate that curve that's on the front portion of the Bugatti Veyron. And then instead of just slapping the front headlights onto the exterior of the car like I usually do with my car Transformers, you won't be able to see it, but I added some clip and bracket pieces onto the interior of the frame so we can actually get some angles going. So instead of the headlight just sitting there horizontally, we now get this downward sloped headlight, just like how it actually is on the Bugatti Veyron model.
Oh.
Okay, I'd say we've covered just about everything we need to in this vehicle mode. Let's check out how this newly designed robot mode is looking. But before we do that, if you are interested in having me build and review your favorite LEGO Transformers or mechs on the channel here, consider becoming a Patreon. The membership link for that is in the description. Or if you're interested in buying some instructions to some of my non-transformable builds, you can actually get those over on my Rebrickable page. The link to that page is also in the description. Oh, Raspberry, this robot mode looking nice, you know? Okay, now let's get right into it. Now, right off the bat, as you can see, not only did I make major improvements to the color design within that vehicle mode, but I also made some major improvements to the color design in this robot mode. You see, when I built the previous version, I didn't really have any gold pieces, so I had to substitute everything that was gold and chrome silver with brown and dark gray, and it just made this guy look like he was rusty and dusty. And that's a problem, because my man's Drift here has a design that is based off of a whole Japanese samurai warrior, so he needs that gold and chrome silver to really make his armor design pop correctly. And you know what? It was really his old head sculpt that ended up taking the biggest hit due to the lack of gold pieces at the time, because aesthetically it was pretty accurate, but without the gold or chrome pieces in there, it just didn't hit the same. Now remember, the head sculpt was just the main portion of his body that desperately needed that golden recolor. But there were other areas on his body like his arms and waist and legs that still needed that golden touch to really bring this guy to life. So I went over those areas as well. Now my previous version of Drift was a bit too bulky. Okay, I'ma keep it a stack. This version here is about 20 to 30% slimmer. Now, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I don't think we're getting to this level of slenderness with Drift in Lego form, okay? There's just nowhere else for the car parts to go. So proportion wise, I'm okay with this version here overall. And hold up, can we take a second to throw some spec on this chest design here, which looks way more compact and proportionate to the body? Can we take a second for that? Because okay, now let's talk details. Being that this is the third time that I'm building Drift, I wanted to make sure that I incorporated as many details as I could into the design. So I started off by redesigning his katanas here. Instead of them just being these long, flat blades that just have regular tiles going down the center, I actually switched it up with some grill tiles, some modified 1x1 tiles, some cylindrical plates towards the end, and a wedge plate. Next, I wanted the arms to look as mechanical as possible, so I added this little Technic gear here at the shoulder, which actually isn't responsible for the movement of his arm at all. His arm is actually articulated via this tiny ball joint at the side of it here. So the Technic gear is merely for display and aesthetic purposes. Now, on a side note, I've got about 2 more car Transformers that I want to build from Transformers Dark of the Moon, so keep an eye out for those guys in the next week. But if you guys are interested in checking out another one of my builds from Transformers Age of Extinction, I'll leave the link to my A.O.E Crosshairs mock at the end of this video.
I can never go back to the old days. No way. Back to walking to work on a cold day. Back to thinking my ex was my soulmate. Back to telling myself it'll be okay. We'll be okay. We're surviving no Ramen and OJ. Shorty paying the bills, I had no say. I can never go back to the bottom. To the bottom. Selling drugs, never know when the cops come. Jealous, they wanted to rob us. I was just trying to give me some dollars. A couple dollars.